So here we are. This is the week 21 intervention problem correction video. Try saying that really fast. And you had 4 problems, or have 4 problems on that page that you were supposed to solve. You will notice that 2 of those problems are problems where you're given the circumference and you have to find the area. The other 2 are problems where you are given the area and you have to find the circumference. I'm going to do one of each of those for you now. I've actually done all 4 on the video, but what I'd like you to do is just fast forward far enough to see whether you have the first one right. If you do, that's great. Then do the second one. If you have the first one wrong, then rethink how you're going to do the next one on the page that is giving you the circumference and finding the area. So watch the first 2 videos. There's one of each. If you had both those correct, fast forward to the end, check your answers. If you have one wrong, figure out what you did wrong and rework the remaining problem like it on the page. So the first problem says, a circle has a circumference of 24 pi. What's the area? Well, if it has a circumference of 24 pi, I need to know the circumference formula. And the circumference formula is circumference equals pi times diameter. So what I know for this problem is that pi times diameter is equal to 24 pi, because they tell me that 24 pi is the circumference, so it has to be equal to the formula for circumference. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide each side by pi. That allows me to cancel pi on both sides, canceling as in pi divided by pi is 1. So 1 times d equals d. Pi divided by pi is 1. 1 times 24 equals 24. Now I have a diameter. The target, in case you didn't really pick it up, the target for this is to find the area. And I know that area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So I'm trying to get a radius. Well, if the diameter is 24, the radius is 12. I know that because a diameter divided by 2 equals a radius. Diameter goes halfway across the circle, or excuse me, diameter goes all the way across, radius goes halfway. So now radius equals 12. Now I can bring that over to this problem, and I have 3.14 times 12 squared, which is 3.14 times 144. And I'll get out my handy-dandy calculator. And when you come in to take the test for this, you're allowed to use a calculator. So get out my handy-dandy calculator. 3.14 times 144 equals, and my final answer is 452.16, and this was inches, so it would be squared inches. That's our final answer on the first problem. Okay, the second problem, they give us the area. We need to find the circumference. So let's put our calculator down here for just a minute. So they give us the area. We know that the formula for area is pi times radius squared. So I know that pi times radius squared is equal to 64 pi. All right. Once again, I'm going to divide both sides by pi. That allows me to eliminate the pi on both sides. And I know that the radius squared equals 64. So what number what times itself equals 64? Well, that would be 8. So we know that the radius itself is 8. And if the radius is 8, the diameter is 16, because radius times 2 equals diameter. For the circumference, we know that the circumference equals pi times diameter. So for this problem, it's going to be 3.14 times the 16 that we got from right there. And if we bring our calculator back out, 3.14 times 16 is equal to, let's see, I can look at that and know, wait, there's a problem. Well, the problem is the decimal didn't hit. 3.14, there we go, times 16 is equal to 50.24, and this was centimeters, so it is 50.24 centimeters. So if you have both those correct, move on to the next two problems. If you don't, rework the next two problems. All right, let's go through the last two problems now. So this again is a circumference problem. So here's what I know. I know that the circumference formula, pi times diameter, is equal to 30 pi. I'm going to eliminate pi on both sides. That allows me, if I divide both sides by pi, I get the big 1, which means I've got d is equal to 30, which means r is equal to 15. R squared then is 15 times 15. That's 225. I need that because the area formula is pi r squared. So I'm going to have 3.14 times, I'll just do my steps, the 15 squared, which is 3.14 times 225. And that is equal to 3.14 times 225 is equal to 706.5 meters squared. All right, final problem. Let's park our calculator up there. Final problem. We have a circumference, or excuse me, has an area of 81. Well, the area formula, pi times radius squared, equals 81 pi. Divide both sides by pi. R squared equals 81. What number times itself makes 81? Another way to say that is, what's the square root of 81? Well, that would be 9. So now r is equal to 9, which means the diameter is equal to 18. We have pi times diameter. That's our formula for circumference. So now we have 3.14 times 18. 3.14 times 18 is equal to 56.52 centimeters. All right, so there are the last two answers. There again are the first two answers. Match up your test against this, and then be ready to come in and take a video, be really successful. See you then.